Yoga Sutra, through the process of Vairagya, creating a state of non-possessiveness allows us to see through. And it is so important to have this because even in families, even in work environment, in organizations, doesn't matter whether it's NGO or not, if it's a company, doesn't matter if it is a multinational, transnational, small institution or small company, or even a sole prop with 1 or 2 staffs, we still need to be aware of this Vairagya. Even in the family unit, Vairagya is someone, is one person there creating a thought pattern which creates some form of issue in us later on. How to be aware of this? And the awareness can only be had when we are in a non-possessive state. This illusion that was unable to be detached. Unable to detach because possessiveness. So this possessiveness is not only a possessive of love, or possessive of my children, or possessive of my race and religion or nationality. No. Possessiveness of the illusions that are in the mind. That is the reason why when we practice yoga, when we are practicing meditation and awareness, we learn the art of understanding what to detach. This is so important. What to detach? That girl was unable to detach the negative influence of her father. Unable to detach. Whereas this, the younger sister, was able to detach. And she was very aware when she said that this is exactly what was the words used by him. So are we unconsciously repeating the mannerisms of some individuals, or even our personality when we were teenagers or younger, which was detrimental at that time, and we have grown right now, grown physically, but emotionally still carrying all of those things. It could be race-based, it could be some other culture-based, or could be even a form of manipulation by individuals around us to make you think it is like this. I've been to places where children unknowingly, they're very innocent and pure, but using remarks which were very hurtful for other races. The words which they use was very hurtful for other races. You look at them, they don't know. They are unconsciously repeating this because the families use this. They just don't know. So what is happening is, do you think it's going to stop here? It's not going to stop. It is going to continue until they are older. Even in an older person, just a few weeks ago, we were in a restaurant, a hotel, in a restaurant, a vegetarian restaurant, we were all waiting. And then there was most probably was the general manager of the place, talking to his staff in front of the customers here and using this remark to a certain race, using this word which people know is not a good word, but he's just unconsciously talking to his. You cannot say he's a primary school child who used these words from the family. He's already grown, unable to think about and detach from the past conditioning. So are we like that? Is we keep on repeating many of those things unconsciously. The only way to do this is to detach from the past. Can we detach from the past? Can we recreate a new model? Can we detach from models which were detrimental? Can be father, can be mother, can be elder brother, can be elder sister, can be the leaders of that particular society. Can we detach and then grow in the new model that we want to? The new model has to be an evolved person. An evolved person is a person whose mind is thinking about only the good stuff that can grow themselves. If I can use only those thought patterns which can grow myself, that growth takes place within myself, will I not also have an opportunity to share this? Whether I speak or not, people can see that there's something remarkable in your personality. That the choice of words, the choice of your SMS, the choice of your WhatsApp, the choice of your emails, the choice of your relating with others are all at a very refined manner. It's not only when I'm physically interacting with someone that I use the words which are in the best mannerism, but all my emails, my SMS is very layered with racial discrimination, gender discrimination. It cannot be, isn't it? I can be an intellectual professor in the university talking about equality and all that, but in a private email I say, oh, this particular race, I think this particular people from this religion are very bad in our community. I think we have to just, do our best to get rid of these people from our organization based on their race and religion and all that. Cannot be like this, isn't it? That physical personality interaction seems to be sophisticated, but internal dialoguing is detrimental. As a boss, okay, multiracial component, talking to my staffs are multiracial, very nice, harmony. But in the dinner with my family, I say, this particular race, I think they are no good, they are very loud, they're always fighting. I think this very... Where is the development? If I really want to, if there is Vairagya and I want to create the true growth, then I have to. I can tell you, this disruption or these double standards, which are part of possessiveness, part of the culture and the upbringing of that particular culture. In the past they were like that, we can let go. But right now we have that maturity. And if we are still, when I say we, I'm not talking about you, I'm just saying that if it is still there, then there is only one thing which is not developed: inability to detach. Inability to detach from the comfort zone. Inability to detach from the mat. Move away from the mat, do that, unable to. That is possessiveness. So many things are happening. 999,999 people of your particular culture looking at this one person who is able to practice detachment, and that 999,999 people using a certain word which can hurt a particular group, and you saying something totally different which is to respect the other group. And you doing this group can change. It just takes one person to change an entire community. It just takes one person to change the entire course of history. It just took one person, like Gandhi, or like Mother Teresa, or like Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was jailed 27 years, correct? 27 years he was jailed by the so-called white supremacists. They jailed him and then abused the natural inhabitants of the land. After 27 years, when he was released, his community told him, this is the time to revenge. This is the time, and I'm sure you are so bitter. 27 jails in jail, what you have lost almost 1/3 of your life at the prime of his youth. This is the time to revenge. They did so many things to us, let's finish them off. You know what he said? It's time to forgive. It's time to forgive. What they didn't give to us, we give to them. Whatever the rights that were not given, we maintain them. Let's work on reconciliation, on harmony. What kind of mind is this? Was he staying 27 years in ashram, in a monastery, learning yoga, meditation, becoming a vegetarian? None of this. So what was happening? He was able to detach. These are called Vairagyis. People who are able to detach from the past and then able to move forth. And here we can't even forgive for someone who has done some damage to us during kindergarten. That girl did something to me, pulled away my sweet from me. And here, 27 years in jail can come out, and what kind of heart? You don't talk about the mind. What kind of heart? It's only the most compassionate, most loving, most developed heart that can come. And that is called purusha. The word purusha there is the essential nature. Who am I? I am purusha. Purusha means the most clearest, the most purest essence of living. I'm not talking about good or bad. I'm not talking about kindness, love. I'm talking about the energy that is within us, the essence of life within us. That essence of life in meditation, when you touch base with that essence of life, will respect all lives. Will naturally be kind to all lives, will naturally be able to maintain some form of interaction which is very unique from its perspective in order to maintain a growth factor. And this is very unique. The way how you want to show love, the way how you want to show compassion, the way how you want to encourage a person, how you want to motivate, has to be individualistic. That you have to train and you have to understand. But the essence of it is that you can, even if you are firm, that you are using very strict words to raise your family members or your brothers and sisters. Let's say one of your brothers not going to work or not doing anything and just being wasting his life. You can be strict, correct? You can be firm, but cannot be abusive. You cannot use negative words which further makes him become worse than like that. Oh, you are good for nothing. I think people hate you. I hate you. I think you are motivating. You know? When you think that by using these words, you can make the person grow. No, you have to use words which you are firm. I think you are wasting your time. Like you have to grow. You have to take this. You know, pull him and then go and do something. So you are being firm. You don't say, I love you so much. I think you are the best brother that I have. I know you can do anything. Just relax. What do you want? I want 5 months break with pay. Okay, I can give you. And this is the way I want to motivate. This one doesn't work. This one doesn't work. Another one is taking the, some like big rotan or cane and then backing him, get out from the bed and all that also won't work. But your firmness will work. Five of our students, there was these 5 boys attended a program. And then in that program, they were performing, Jayanti's students, performing some asanas in this particular event. And then there was one yoga instructor who was there, told her, I want to train these boys. And I want these boys to come because I can make them, very famous. So the parents of those boys were very impressed. Brought them there after an appointment. So went there, and then out of the 5, 2 of the boys used to come here. So they have exposed to my style of teaching. So went there. And then, there was was audition. So during the audition, they were asked to do asanas, and this instructor had a rotan, a cane. So they were doing wheel pose and were hitting the leg. You can do this. You pull your body up. You can do this. And then very strong words. Your body is lazy. You have been practicing so lazy. Your instructor must be useless. So very, and the parents who were there, 2 or 3 parents were very impressed. Because if my child is able to do this, even in one session is able to do this. They are able to move much more in the wheel pose than before. Of course, you back there, you bang there, you hit with the rotan, they are going, but at the end of it, what is going to happen? So then what happened was these 5 boys in that event went to the bathroom. Small meeting there. Jayanti was telling me, small meeting there in the bathroom, and only 2 were in my class, the rest 3 learned from Jayanti. They say that we don't like this man. We don't like this style. No? We like the style where we are doing, they are doing. We want to enjoy and do continuously. Like this we will not do. So the two elder boys told the three young boys, especially the youngest one was very, very excited. Maybe the parents back him all every day. So he was alright with the rotan and all that. So other boys said, well, this is not going to happen, you may injure yourself. Where are the other students? Do you see any other students here? Nobody, right? So something must be done. You must remember that something is happening here which could be not long term. So after the discussion they came out, they say that we don't want to proceed with this kind of method. And then they left. The person who is teaching yoga. He's a yoga instructor, quite a senior instructor in this particular region. But you see that I am very certain this is how this person must have learned. You understand what I'm saying? This person must have learned from someone who had that kind of characteristics. Therefore, for this particular instructor, whatever he is doing, teaching style and all that is correct. In his mind, it is correct. But for children who are definitely exposed to a much more wider scope of training, looking at this, were able to discern, able to think and then overcome that particular distraction. So they were able to practice Vairagya at that time, detach from that particular process and then discriminate between what is beneficial and not. So what we need to analyze is that if a yoga instructor and practitioner, even practicing yoga for so many years, unable to discern and understand and able to detach, what about those who don't even practice? So it is not that a person who is practicing yoga or some form of meditation or spirituality or a free thinker, that means not practicing anything and all that, can be judged from their background. So this we need to be very clear about it, that it could be a college professor, it could be someone whom we think is intellectually developed, or a very senior person, maybe 80 years old, may not have any wisdom, may not have a discriminatory wisdom towards what is wrong and right, what is able to create an awareness. Sometimes you see 80 years old also going to video shops and looking at the phonographic materials. 80 years old. Is 80 years old still looking at the phonographic materials? What kind of maturity is this? 90-year-old mother-in-law still abusive to the 75-year-old's daughter-in-law. Oh. 90-year-old and still has not grown. What is this? Unable to detach, no Vairagya, unable to use their ears to move ahead. 95 years old, practicing some form of religion. Talk to the person, 95 years old, practicing this particular religion and still saying that all other religions are useless. What is the growth here? By 95 years old, you should be able to see there is goodness in anyone who is able to practice some form of devotion or not, whatever it is. That we can see beyond the conditioning. So detaching from that, which I think that this is the only, this is like that yoga instructor thinking that is the only method, unable to detach, and then see that we can always evolve, that there are many ways of teaching. So we have to be very careful that thinking that I am a Kriya Yoga practitioner, I am a Hatha Yoga practitioner, I am doing all my pranayama, therefore I know everything is perfect. I want you to really be aware that all our actions, words, writings, communication can create a separation from our true, joyful, beautiful state that is called purusha. That pure light that is within us, purusha, without Vairagya, we will not be able to reach. So just like how I'm going to end with this verse from what Lao Tzu, this great teacher of Taoism, said, you can only reach the ultimate potential by releasing everything from yourself. By unlearning, you reach your potential. Many people think that stop reading books. You say, oh, okay, Lao Tzu has said, unlearn, stop learning, stop forgetting all the knowledge, and then wisdom arises. No, that's not what he said. He said, release all those conditionings. Releasing all these conditionings is not easy, but if he had said that, and his words and his life and his achievements are so completely towards that enlightenment, then we have seen in the history of mankind there is a possibility. There is a possibility. And always also remember that almost all the founders of religions were almost illiterate. That means they were unlearned in the books and the intellectual processes. So where was this learning came from? The learning came from Vairagya. Detach, allow the energy and the response to come from within. With this we conclude our training. Namaskar. Thank you.